Oh hey look, it's my middle school math teacher. This time I'm going to do a parody of Level 42's Something About You from 1985. Here we go. Because there's something about you, the name, it's so right. I wouldn't do this review without you. It's the Glendale tonight. Okay, enough of that shit. What's known in the trade as a drug dealer's car. 1990s luxury German four-door sedan turned 2010's roving depot for stepped-up cocaine. Expect to get stopped by the cops and stuck up by junkies. Oh god, 2010s. I forgot the game came out in 2013, and now here we are in 2021. I kind of feel old. By the way, I know the ad says it's a 1990s car, but what it's based on is a amalgamation of a 1960s, 70s, and 80s Mercedes-Benz. I've been wanting to do this review for a while actually, way back when most of my friends still played this game and wanted to help me film. This car just screams dad car. Or maybe it's the car owned by that old Jewish guy who lived up the street. Why specifically Jewish, you ask? I don't know, because the car is German and it's supposed to be funny, I guess? The Glendale has had a brief history within the series. It looked drastically different than the older titles, starting out in GTA Vice City. The original Glendale was a combination of several different vehicles, including a 1955 Buick Special for the front, a 1957 Chevy Bel Air for the headlights and roof, a 1961 Dodge Polaire for the back and sides, and the overall shape resembled an Opel Record. In addition to the standard Glendale in Vice City, they also had the Blood Ring Banger, which is some kind of demolition derby car. I believe it's part of one of the side quests in Vice City you can do, or the side missions you can do. I'm not sure if it's available to keep as an actual car, but according to LM's video here, he was able to obtain it probably through mods or something like that, probably. The car remained relatively the same in GTA San Andreas, however, just like in Vice City, there was a separate variant. There was a beater variant that can be found in the woods of San Andreas called Baco Beyond. There's a bit of a mystery behind this ghostly car. I think it's something to do with somebody got murdered or something like that. I'm not really a ghost channel, but I will link a video about the ghost car in the title card above here if you want to learn more about it. It's very, very interesting actually, if you want to take a look here. And of course, the car returned to the prequel to Vice City Stories. Now, I don't typically, you should probably know, I don't typically show footage of the cars from the prequels of GTA 3 and GTA Vice City. That's because they were console exclusives, and it's hard to find good footage of them, because most of the time, they're either don't exist at all, or they're poorly filmed with a phone or a camera from 10 years ago, and it looks like absolute garbage, so I want to try to keep it somewhat high quality here, you know. While the car was absent from GTA 4, they made a return in the I'm Not a Hipster update for GTA Online in 2014. Kind of funny as I cannot see a hipster driving this car. Maybe that was part of the whole joke? The Glendale now resembled a Mercedes-Benz W123, more specifically the 300D model, which was the diesel variant. It also adopted different styling from the W114 and 108 models in the 60s and 70s. The W123 has a long list of engine choices. I first thought when doing some research on this car, they were only offered in diesel engines. You could have had up to 11 engine choices. Now granted, not all of them were offered here in the States. Now for the gasoline options, you could have had a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine and up to a 2.8-liter inline 6, the latter making 185 horsepower. And for diesel options, you could have had a 2-liter 4-cylinder and up to a 3-liter 5-cylinder engine. A turbo diesel model was also offered in 1980, making 125 horsepower and over 180 pound-feet of torque. In addition to engine choices, there was also several different body styles you could have chosen with the W123, including a sedan, obviously, a 4-door limousine, a coupe, which was only offered in Europe, lucky bastards, and of course my favorite, the wagon. It's a real shame that the Glendale Custom doesn't let you make it into a wagon. Quick side note, by the way, I didn't want to include the Glendale Custom because after doing some research, I found out it was basically the same car with a fresh coat of paint and some extra bells and whistles. With the $500K for the upgrade plus $200K for the car, it seems kind of like a ripoff to me. But if they had included it as a wagon, well, then they would have had my attention, but unfortunately there wasn't. There are mods out there to make it into a wagon, but I don't cover mods, I cover the base game cars, so. Back over to the Glendale. I do believe the car is a diesel, mostly due to, well, the engine sound. Especially at idle. I mean, listen to that. It sucks it doesn't sound nothing like the car clip I showed earlier, but still. I'm assuming this isn't the turbo diesel model, because 0 to 60 is around 16 seconds for the stock car. Granted, diesel Mercs weren't known for their acceleration either. Under the hood here we have a single overhead cam V8, which I'm gonna say right now, and I'm just gonna ignore it, because I'm going to just assume it was probably an oversight by the developers. The engine I think should belong in this car is the 5-cylinder diesel I showcased in one of the earlier clips. As far as handling and performance, it's pretty subpar, honestly. It ranked 22nd out of 28th from Brohy's sedan video from a couple months ago, and it also feels very heavy, which I suppose is pretty accurate as from the car it's based on. I mean, all I can think of is that clip from Top Gear, the Botswana special, where James' Mercedes kept sinking into the mud or whatever that stuff was they were traveling across. Funnily enough, the Mercedes in that episode was a W123, specifically 1985 230E, which the E stands for fuel injection. Apparently, some YouTuber had recently found James's old Mercedes as well as Jeremy's old Lancia in Botswana, which I'll link to the video in the description. While the Glendale isn't a fast car or well-handling car, it definitely looks cool. I bought this car when I first started playing GTA 5 because of its boxy appearance. Plus, it looks like something your high school teacher would drive. Or maybe your manager who works at Target. He's definitely old enough to retire now, but since his wife passed, he keeps working at a job to keep busy. 1985 Benefactor Glendale. I don't think it's a drug dealer's car, but it's definitely a dad car.